Hey guys, I'm Fubsy and welcome to episode 3 of our Path to Predator coaching series. Today we're going to be taking a look at my friend Mr. Bojangles, who I had the absolute pleasure of meeting and hanging out with at TwitchCon this year. Bo has reached out to me about trying to get better at the game, trying to improve in the comp scene. He's already a good player. He's currently only ranked Plat 4 this season, but that does not do him any justice. He has looked into some comp teams. He's tried out for a lot of teams. He's been getting some feedback from. He shared that feedback to me as well. So we're going to look at a couple of things here. We're going to go through a game just like we always do. And then at the end, we're going to put a little bit more focus on trying to break down decisions in fights. Before we jump into the gameplay, I do want to say one thing about this selection that I've made. This is a really good game in terms of kills and fights. And sometimes I'll look for a game that things have gone bad and try to talk about improvements or things that I see that could be different. I'm going to still do that, but I picked this game specifically because so many things are done right that I also want Bo to see what is going positive and negative on both sides rather than just hard critiquing this video. One thing we are doing that's a little bit different today is I'm watching this video for his gameplay directly on his Twitch stream for the VOD. So if the quality is a little bit different today, please let me know in the comment section. Please don't forget to show Bo some love. I'll have all of his information down in the description below, including his social media links and his Twitch channel. With that said, let's go ahead and jump right into some gameplay from Bo. We are on Kings Canyon, heading for artillery in the north in a Plat 4 lobby. They are contested on this drop. We have Maytubs, Delilah, and Bo, all friends, a team of 3 that's playing together. No randoms here. I like this off the start. All 3 of them are very close together. They don't have to worry about getting split apart with this other team landing on them. They did calm out that the other team kind of screwed up the drop, but this gives them the ability for Bo to either flex back to Delilah or Delilah to fall back onto them and they fight together. Luckily, the team isn't getting a lot of loot. They're sharing the 2 hangars. So he's able to come over here, get himself an armor, swap out one of these Evas for a weapon. So far, so good. There's some comms going on now. Maytubs just took somebody out with a G7 playing high ground. He sees them rotating towards Bo. Bo's able to fight the first one here. Armor swap isn't a problem. And then one more outside on the balcony. Maytubs comes over, cleans it up. Easy early fight, easy KP to get everything started. After rotating down towards the north tower, the team starts to consider rotating out. They see some players, and Bo pushes up here. They call out that this right in front of them. You're still hanging out here, and this to me feels unnecessary. This portal doesn't really gain anything. It was just kind of, in my opinion, used more like a speed boost. I think you could have saved that portal, and just in case something came up later where you might have needed like to res or to port one of your teammates out so that you can res him. Either way, you take a good angle of re-entering the fight here and pushing this player. Maytubs gets the knock on him, and then they turn around and they push Delilah behind you.
I need help. I need help.
At this point, Delilah's getting shot, and Maytubs is calming that he needs help. I'll turn up the volume here just a little bit, but let's step back just a second.
Nice.
As he gets knocked, you have 2 teammates at full health. You have 1/2 of an armor piece left, but you still have enough to be able to fight in this situation. Instead of going for this thirst, I would have liked to have seen you focus on where the rest of their team is. Responding to callouts is very, very important. And I think in this situation, it doesn't end up screwing you guys over entirely. But if you had your gun up on the enemy here, it could have led to better results. Maytubs makes it away, and then you go for this finisher to go ahead and get your shields. At this point, you needed the shields, so it makes sense. But then you go back into the body, and you're looting a lot here. With your eyes off of the enemy team, it gives them the ability to kind of move in. You guys are 2v2. This is an easy position for you guys to be heads up. And most of this stuff probably isn't going to get used right now in this fight especially. He comes through your portal, pushes up on you guys. You're able to crush him. Little glitch there on the timing on that one. And then the third person is an easy kill here. It doesn't end up costing you guys the fight, but I think if you stay gun up instead of going for that thirst and spend a little bit less time looting there, It's just two little things that you can keep your eye on moving forward. And I'll touch again on looking at those down players as we go on to some of these other fights as well. After rotating in, you guys find some streamer loot. You happen to come up on another team here on the edge. I'm not sure if it's a full team or if it's just a rat. But Maytubs gets some damage in. You catch him running away. Just a rat, full kill, easy cleanup here. Now that you guys have pushed in from this angle from the north, and you guys have killed somebody here on the north, you know that this is probably a really great res location for you guys to pull this off. When you do hit this res though, especially in ranked lobbies, you can expect teams to come your way. So it's always something that you guys have to know and kind of be expecting. Good thing about this is that you guys have the ability here to use this choke as an escape if you need it, if teams push you from the south area. This kind of gives you options, and I really like this position. With Delilah coming back in and having that player's loot to get a full kit, you guys are able to be back at 100% efficiency very quickly. But anytime you pull a res in ranked, people always come running, and Maytubs has already spotted them and trying to hold them back. In this case, you guys actually had two teams push you.
Back out if you can.
I like the call here for you to have Maytubs back out, because if you back out here, the three of you can play that north choke. Instead, you kind of come in with a crazy portal, and once again, you used it more as a speed boost instead of the utility that you need. You also go for this finisher here, and it almost costs you your life.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, thank God.
The portal saves you here, but a good team probably would have pushed you and finished this one sliver of health that you had left. But going for that finisher was kind of the same thing I touched on earlier. You love finishing these kills that are on the ground. Sometimes you need to keep your eyes up and you need to focus on the rest of the fight.
Below.
Maytubs finishes one up top. Delilah gets that. And you call out this one last player below. You know it's a solo. You guys have done the numbers already. And you're chasing after him with zone closing in. So far, everything's good. Delilah's taking some damage from behind. You guys are putting some damage out on this guy zipping away from you. This is a risky zip. He just finished running away from you guys here. And if he wanted to turn around and just beam this zip line, you probably would have died here. Your teammates are not on the zip line with you, and that's what makes this so risky. Everything's okay because he's a little scared. You already had some damage on it, and it looks like he prioritized the heal. But that was a very strong commit, especially when both your teammates didn't come with you. One of those moments that it would work out fine if all three of you take that zip line together, but going alone is definitely a scary option, even with your Wraith Q as a bail. With Maytubs coming to rejoin you guys, I like that you took your time to regroup, distribute some loot, and see where this rat went.
I don't either. We got the points right now, bud.
Wait, I think I hear him.
I like the comms that you guys have the KP. You don't need to take any more fights. You didn't need to chase him. But for some reason, this guy must be thinking that he still gets, you know, a grapple every 5 seconds or something. Easy cleanup, another KP, some loot. Life's good for you guys right now. After knocking out that rat, you guys hear some more fighting in this direction. And you've already calmed your teammates that you guys don't need any more KP. You don't need to fight. And the priority here is rotation and placement. And you guys are in the right spot for that. You have a team fighting down low. And these guys are running away from you. One thing to keep your eye on here. Your teammates are holding high ground. And you're chasing. I personally love that you've moved up. And you are clearing this north side. You're making sure that there's nobody on this edge. And you want to make sure that there's no one that can come up behind you guys when this zone does start to close. The issue here is how far you are from your teammates. If anything was to happen to you, you are for sure dead here. While they're shooting and making noise, if a team was to roll up from the west, it would take you too long to get to them to support them in that fight. This puts you and them both split too far away and in a really bad position. I think you either need to calm with them to let them know, hey, come with me. Let's clear the north side. Let's make sure that we're safe here for rotation. Or you need to pump the brakes and stay with them and see where the fight takes you from there. This is a little bit more nitpicky for me, so don't take anything the wrong way. But you're on your way back now that you've noticed how far you are from your team. You've called that they're coming out, and I think that if you had actually played above the double doors there, you would have been close enough to your teammates to have everything good, and you would have been playing in different angles. You being on top of the door would have let them focus on either Delilah or Maytubs, depending on where they were, and you could have shot them in the back if they tried to push out the doors. It's just something to consider in gunfights, that sometimes you may want to play a different angle than your teammates. Just put yourself in a position where you can support them. If they try to break line of sight from one of your teammates, you still get the damage. They don't have anywhere to hide. You still would have been safe on high ground. You could have backed away from the edge so that no one would have seen you, but it's not the wrong call to do what you did here. I was just letting you know, in gunfights, think about those little angles and ways that you can always find them and improve. As you rotate back to your team, you calm that you're worried about your position and being pinched. I think it's the perfect mentality to be in. You're worried about a team coming in from your west. I would have been as well. And then these guys decide to do something insane, and they actually just kind of fly right at you. You have to clean this up quick. You're making noise. There's 8 squads left. It's a relatively small circle for this phase of the game. You're worried about a team coming in from your west. And as you guys say that, you don't know where the other 2 players would have landed. The Bengal ult's going to go off here, stuns you guys, gets a little damage in, and then shots start to come in from your west. It could be the team from the west coming in as a third party, or it could just be his teammates. Either way, I want to point out this right here is your best portal of the game. This is what Wraith portals are all about. Something is happening, you don't like it, you get your team the hell out of there. They rotate out, you guys are heading for zone, and they're still shooting over there trying to make something happen. Perfect portal. Rotating in from the north again, you guys have pretty much cleared out everything there is to clear out. Making sure that nothing is going to come behind you and holding that zone for so long. This is a phenomenal place to hold at this phase of the game. You guys have dropped a Wadi ult, and you're starting to get this area a little set up. You have eyes on a team below you in this house, and I've talked about it before. I hate this house. I don't think that's a good house to hold at all. You guys are in the better position when shots start to rain in from you guys from the side. You guys have good angles here, and this isn't really too much of a threat. You peek down low instead of keeping your eyes on the guys that may push you because you're really worried about that house, but I would have kept my eyes up top here the entire time. If those guys try to make a move from the house, you'll probably hear a Pathfinder zipline or some sort of noise. The idea is to make sure that that team that was close to you on your level can't push you, and you and Maytubs kind of push over here to make sure that that's the case, and I like this. There was a team across from you on the other high ground across that zip line that kind of shot at the team, and I think that team backed off instantly and helped you guys out more than you might have noticed. You guys do some trading back and forth with the team that's on the high ground across at Hydro and the team that's in that house. But I like that you guys turn around, you double check, and even though it would have been a crazy long range portal play, you make sure that nobody comes around behind you guys, and you guys have this high ground to yourself. It is an ultimate position to be holding, and now you see where the next zone is going to be. With about 30 seconds left until this zone closes, you guys have started to think about how you're going to rotate out of here. You know that the team on high ground at Hydro Dam has to rotate out, and you know that the team in this 2-story has to rotate out. Something that you guys can be doing is probably trying to get as much intel on where this team here is moving as you guys possibly can. You guys can be poking them and making sure that they don't try to play any sort of high ground so that you guys can have a little bit more flexibility on what you decide to do. As the timer starts to run down here, you guys do look for this team and you do get that information, and this is all very important. I like that you get some damage here and you force them to think about contesting you. The up high team seems to have already moved. But this portal here, I can't tell what it is that you're trying to achieve. You've pinged the house to your right, but you ran past it, and I think that this could have just been a mistake. Kind of leaves you out in the open here, and then you go back. It's just kind of an unfortunate situation because you did ping this house right here. And if your portal had gone to the roof of this house right here, I think you guys are in a very good position to win this game. This could have easily just been one of those look before you leap kind of moments, you know? You went over the edge, you saw a house, and I think you just ran to the wrong house. But we're going to watch a little bit more here, and we'll see why, from this point, you still could have made it onto this roof and been in an ultimate position. Maytubs and Delilah have already made it up, but you were committed to that Phoenix there. Yeah, it was right there. That was very, very close. Delilah's kind of stuck right below Maytubs, but you can see if you guys had jumped from that staircase, you didn't even need a portal. If you had looked down, jumped to this roof, and played this angle, All three of you alive here would have been an actual really, really strong position. Your teammate Maytubs is able to go in and kind of show off why this position is so well, and he kind of bullies these kids that are in the house below him. Keep in mind, anyone watching, there is a team below the house still that we saw that killed Bo, and there's probably still some other teams maybe in this house to our right, considering there's 5 squads still in the game. Because of Maytub's Watson ult, the Gibraltar is not a problem with his ult. And then we get some angles here. Some cheeky angles. With 5 squads left, if you were all 3 here on top of this roof,
Just get that top 3, buddy.
the possibilities are endless. I love that he keeps his head down here. He doesn't poke out for those fights that are happening outside, and he kind of keeps himself a little bit hidden from the outside world. With the 3 of you alive, you could have absolutely dominated this team inside this house, but Maytubs does it all by himself.
You're getting called out right now, though. Oh, easy. Clutch,
They have
bro. Easy.
no idea what's going on.
How is she not dead?
She is.
Oh, okay.
They try to stick the res inside, and another angle here. Easy cleanup.
Nice, bro.
Full squad wipe.
Kill lead.
The ending of this game is one of the things that made me want to pick it outside of how well you guys did and how many fights you guys took. This is a wild ending. With 4 squads left, round 6 is closing, and a Platinum 4 lobby with only 1 tree for cover, this is a wild spot to be in. Even if all 3 of you are alive, there's no guarantee that you could have won this game through anything other than just having better gun skills than the rest of the players or a little bit of luck. I'll let it play in the background here, but one thing I wanted to do is just cover some basic overview from what I saw in this game that you could improve on. The first one is Wraith Portals. Trying to improve where you place them and when you use them is going to be a major thing as a Wraith player in comp and ranked gameplay. The second thing is you need to focus on keeping your gun up in gunfights. If you keep your gun up and focus less on the players that are on the ground, you may be able to help win some of these 2v2s faster and prevent yourselves from getting third-partied in other fights. The third and final thing would be about positioning with your teammates. Sometimes you're going to want to play a little bit closer than you're playing. Sometimes you're going to want to up your comms so that your teammates know what you're thinking and where you're going. I think those 3 little adjustments will help you take things to the next level. From here, we're going to bounce around the VOD a little bit. I'm going to try to find some fights, and we'll see if we can point out a couple more things to help you improve as a player. The first fight we're going to look at, you guys are coming in just to the house on the south side of pit, and you've seen a lifeline crate. This is going to be a straight up 3v3 fight.
They see me.
Crate's coming down, and you put an entry portal in. This isn't a bad portal. I know we talked a little bit about usage of your portals in your overview, but this can be used as an easy escape portal for you guys, and I think it was a well-placed portal. Gets you in safely and gives you guys the ability to get out if you need to. At this point here, though, you have a Watson trap on the back door, and the front door is wide open. Your teammate is healing in the corner. Your eyes should be on that door that can be walked through still. As you take your eyes towards this door back here, they follow you in and push through that front door. Maytubs has his gun down trying to heal, and their whole team just kind of floods in. One of 2 things should have happened in this situation. Either you and Delilah focus heavily on that front door to make sure that they can't push in like that, or with Maytubs taking big damage like that, you instantly put use of that portal that you placed. If you guys just call out, go back through the portal, and you guys place Watson traps there, it may buy you just enough time for Maytubs to heal up and reset this fight for a 3v3 again. For the second fight we're looking into, you guys are in a top 3 situation. You know there's a team of 3 in front of you, and you know that there's probably a rat based on what information you have. The thing I want to touch on here is, again, portal usage as a Wraith. You can use this portal to go to that single rock in the center. If you place it on your side of that rock, you guys have an easy way to jump in there if this does become a big 3v3 fight and a way to back out. But you kind of run your whole Rift energy out, and then you get yourself in a weird situation here. Almost like if you were going to try to dance through the portal to buy time at the end of a match when zone is going to kill everybody. But this is not that zone yet. So portal usage is something I mentioned. And again, it just shows here something you guys need to think about. You guys have good comms here. And this fight ends up going your way. So we'll just end up watching it through and looking at the things that you guys do right. They end up pushing up and getting aggressive on you guys. And the rat ends up being on their side, which is really great for you guys. You push in, you get some knocks, easy finishes here, and you're able to pull this fight as a W. For this third fight, you guys have just landed, it's early game, and you guys get W keyed by another team. I think your initial reaction is perfect here to back up and get closer to your teammates, but this goes back to another thing that we talked about in our summary, is that you kind of go into a loot phase here. The fight's already started. At this point, you shouldn't really be worried about ammo. You shouldn't be worried about switching out your EVA. I think you should be 100% focused on getting damage on this team. If you guys are all 3 guns up here, like Maytubs is on the roof shooting, Delilah goes onto the balcony here to get more damage on them, and you end up hitting some good shots immediately after you do come up here and end up shooting at them. But you focus too much on getting a gun or having ammo or having heals and putting yourself in the right position, where if you guys just all work together and live guns up, I think you guys can win this fight and get some early KP. Switching over to a different VOD, this kind of turns into a crazy third party, fourth party, fifth party situation. And I think that's a great example of how things need to work on KC and what we need to be prepared for in ranked. As the fight starts here, you throw some good grenades, and then you go in with this portal. I think saving portal is the play here, and I'm going to tell you exactly when you should have used it later. Also, keeping that gun up and over-prioritizing grenades might have been an issue here if this team was any better. As you're focusing on the guys on the ground, once again, there's players that are still up. Keeping your head up, looking for the rest of these players that are alive should be your priority. This goes back to our summary of portal plays and staying focused on the fight instead of the thirsts. This is loot here that you may have needed in an armor swap that could have been viable, so that one made perfect sense right there.
We gotta get the fuck out of here, guys.
But here is that moment. You've calmed it. You need to get the fuck out of there. Your teammate is down. You need to get a res off in this situation. The best thing to do as a Wraith would be to portal your teammates out of this chaotic situation. But you use your portal coming in, and it doesn't really go anywhere. The portal ends in an open field behind you guys, and that happens to be where the third party is coming from right now. If you had saved your portal in this moment, you know, and you've already looked over towards airbase as a safe place for you to run to. But your teammates end up taking your portal back into the opposite direction and kind of getting killed by that third party team. If you were able to use your portal still, you could have gone into the house, portaled your Bloodhound out towards airbase, tried to stick the res, and put caustic traps on that portal. They wouldn't have been able to chase you guys through, and if they did, you would have easily penalized them for it. It's just one of those things about resource management and knowing when you should be using your portals. Alright guys, that's all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Please don't forget to check the details section. I have all of Bo's information posted there, his Twitch, his socials. Go show the man some love. He is amazing. As for the video, as always, if there's anything that you guys think that I can improve on or make changes to these videos, I'm open to your feedback and suggestions in the comment section. If you're looking to get any feedback from me on gameplay that you guys want, I would love to do some reviews for you. Feel free to reach out to me on Twitter and Discord. My links are in the description as well. Thank you so much and have a good one, you guys.